in other words, our roads are as diverse as our culture.
Today's video was brought to you by Sgcarmart. Enzo Prime is the latest premium product from Enzo that uses a patented dual anti-sleep technology on their premium, eco-friendly and antibacterial car mats. Enzo Care is the more affordable alternative, using recycled materials while still providing the signature odor-free antibacterial properties. Enzo Prime comes with lifetime warranty as well as a physical showroom, ensuring a quality customer service experience and a perfect fit for every single journey, which is why they have over 2,500 5-star reviews. To find out more about the new Enzo Prime and Enzo Care, click on the link in the description and use SGCM15 for 15% off your Enzo Prime or Enzo Care purchase.
Now, if you're thinking about three-row SUVs, you're probably thinking about the Mazda CX-A, the Hyundai Santa Fe, or the Kia Sorento hybrid.
But in Malaysia, there is a cheaper alternative, which is the Proton X90.
Brother, what are you doing? This is our shoot.
But you invited me here.
Right, I just remembered today we are up here in Putrajaya to collaborate with Autobus to check this out. This is the Proton X90 three-row SUV. And is this car worth the time? Let's find out. Now, starting off by the front, we have a diamond grille right here, and then of course a Proton Tiger logo. It's also available as a Giddy Hao-Ye in overseas market, so this has been protonized.
Yeah, it was Protoner before this because they used to have this Songket wave in the X70 and all, but they have gone for a more Mercedes look. But according to Proton, these diamond elements are still Songket stuff. So yeah, and this logo here, we call it the Thundercat logo.
Thundercat.
Yeah, Thundercat. You watch Thundercat?
Yeah, back in the days.
Yeah, okay, you're old enough. Good.
I think from what we know from Singapore, I think that it seems like Proton has come a long way. Like, this design definitely looks a lot more refined than what we used to know. Now, over by the side, this Proton X90 measures some 4.8 by 1.9 by 1.8, and this comes in the 19-inch rims. This is the Flagship trim, which comes with 6 heaters but still a front-wheel drive setup.
If you notice, there is this awkwardly placed badge over here that says 48V EMS, which basically means this car is a mild hybrid with a 48-volt system, and EMS stands for Electric Motor Synergy.
It's just marketing speak.
Yeah, I have no idea what that is.
Let's check out the rear.
Sure.
So over by the rear, things are rather simple. You just get a little bit of silver trim right here. Lights are all very concise. A little bit of reflector down here. Large badge Proton X90, and then that's about it. So if you want to open up the power tailgate, which is in all trims except the base trim, you
can't find the button, right? The button is all the way down here. Look, they have to put a sticker here to tell you the button is here. Yeah, kind of weird. Another complaint would be the boot floor is a bit too high. That's because you get a storage compartment down here, and also the spare tire is actually down there. So for you to lift your heavy luggages up here is kind of difficult.
Yeah, especially for an SUV of this size, like, you know, if it's really some heavy stuff, you have to lift this amount of level. But I mean, at least you have the variable boot floor, and of course spare tire being in Malaysia is definitely a lot more useful rather than in Singapore where you can get a tow truck anywhere.
Because Singaporeans don't know how to change tire.
Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more.
Anyway, it still comes with a sizable amount of 257 litres worth of boot space, and that's with the third row seats up. So you could have a full family of 6 in this trim inside the car and still stuff some luggage in the back. Now let's check out the inside.
The Proton X90, currently only available in the Malaysian market, is priced from 124,000 to 153,000 Malaysian ringgit. The 1.5-litre turbocharged mild hybrid engine produces 175 brake horsepower and 255 Nm of torque. The 7-speed dual-clutch transmission brings the car from 0 to 100 km per hour in 8.9 seconds. The car has a claimed fuel consumption of 14.7 km per litre.
So, for the sake of you viewers, we cut out the part where Jay got into the third row.
You don't want to see that.
Yeah, so I try my best to do it as gracefully as possible. So, yeah.
Actually, for the third row, it's not bad. 1.75.
Exactly.
And still a headrest. Headspace is some headspace. This is a leg space for a regular size second row passenger. Pretty good. And in terms of amenities, we still have, very importantly for countries like ours, third row aircon. We get cup holders at the side and a little placement for your phone, and then 2 USB-A charging ports.
What are these?
I think it's handles so that you can climb in.
Alright!
This is your car,
It's not my car.
like your country.
This is the first time it's back here.
Now over by the middle row, we have this in the flagship trim, 6 seats. So these two are captain seats, and not just captain seats, they are also ventilated.
Yeah, but are you sure it's ventilated? Because the LEDs are in orange.
Yeah, it's in orange, right? But usually you would associate ventilated seats with blue, but
Yeah.
there is a little fan logo here, and the aircon fan level is also orange. So, I mean, I'm not feeling the heat, so it must be ventilated.
Yeah. It's usually quite nice.
Okay, so these chairs, in terms of amenities, you're also going to get a panoramic sunroof here, so it helps extend your head space. You get USB-A and USB-C charging,
Yeah.
and then the seats are pretty comfortable.
Yeah, check out the headrest. You can actually cup your head a bit more by adjusting this padding part over here.
Yeah, so
And-
if you go, I think, like, North-South Highway,
Yeah, so that you-
can just...
That won't happen to you. Oh, another thing I really like is there's a huge handle here on the right, so in case your driver goes crazy, you can just hold on to it. Hold on to your dear life. So on the inside, I actually really like the steering wheel design because it's kind of new for Proton. It's very nice to hold, very chunky, and also it's got a flat bottom design, quite sporty. As for the middle cluster, it's a 10-inch screen, but it does look like an afterthought. Sort of like a third-party screen that's got stuffed in and it doesn't really fit.
So I can tell the top is...
Yeah,
there's a
exactly.
blank, like,
It's not aligned nicely, yeah. Right? So for the head unit, it is a 12.3-inch, very beautiful screen, but it doesn't come with Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. Yeah,
in 2024.
yeah, welcome to Malaysia. But apparently they are working on it, so it's going to come soon, to be fair. So,
Well, at least they have like the navigation.
it's got all the basic functions. I think you can install Spotify as well, and that also came quite recently.
Oh.
They used to have their own little Spotify, their version of Spotify, but now you can. Yeah. So moving forward, the aircon vent design is pretty interesting. It looks like a goggle all the way there, and down here, climate controls. There you get to USB-A for your charging as well.
Yeah, I guess I think this is a nice touch where nowadays everybody is going digital touchscreen. At least they have the physical
Yeah,
controls.
they
I feel
retain
like
the buttons.
You
Yeah.
always want the physical controls,
yep.
especially. Oh, and you can also use touchscreen. So, but you still want the option of physical controls.
Correct.
And then down here, a wireless charger. This is a very newish gear shift. I've never seen one like this before. You don't really see any PRNDL on the bottom, just a little bit etched here.
Yeah.
It's not even lit up in any way.
Yeah.
And then your drive mode selector here, you get Eco Comfort and Sport, Hill Descent Assist, traction control, 360 camera, which is always a nice thing, especially of a car of this size, electronic parking brake,
Yeah.
brake auto hold, parking proximity, and auto parking, right?
I think so. Yeah. But do you use AutoPark?
No,
I
but
don't.
I think maybe for a car of this size, some people, it's a nice option to have.
Nice option to have. Yeah.
2 cup holders here, and then a nice opening cubby space that actually stretches pretty
Oh, it's quite deep. Yeah.
So over by the front, you also have a panoramic sunroof with electronic cloth cover. So this is a nice touch to keep out the sun, or if you want a little bit more darkness within the cabin. And then there's also a nice two-tone color with this beige white on the top, and then the black everywhere else. Further up front on the dash, there's also a nice little grab bar. So if you want to throw your things, or if your driver is driving a little bit crazy, you can still hold on for more comfort.
Or if the driver is scared himself, he can hold on to it as well. There's a handle here as well.
So,
Should we go for a drive? Yeah.
my turn to drive.
No.
So driving the Proton X90, what does it feel like? Well, immediately I think it feels kind of like a gangster car, a big SUV like this.
Gangster car, wow.
Lu gangster ke lu mafia?
Barreling down the highway, I think.
Wow.
I mean, so far, it does get the sense that people are like, oh my god, yeah, better move out.
All right, right. A bit like a huge presence.
Right, like, and the height of it almost makes it feel like I'm driving something like a Raptor.
Oh, wow.
Like,
okay.
and then people just, get out of the way.
Nice.
And I have to say that I'm quite surprised by the output of this, because it's driven by a 3-cylinder 1.5 turbocharged mild hybrid, but it doesn't really feel like that. It feels quite a bit stronger.
Right, right.
It's only pushing out, I believe, 175 brake horsepower, 244 Newton meters of torque, I believe. But when you put the pedal to the metal in sports mode, actually it doesn't sound the most graceful, but I think it's a very controllable, very fun way of putting that power out to the road.
It is a bit noisy, but you can't really tell it's a 3-cylinder when you are actually pushing it.
So speaking of 3-cylinder, in the Geely Haoye, I believe they come with a 1.8 or 2-liter turbo.
But those are 4 cylinders.
Yeah, 4 cylinders.
Yeah.
So this over here, even in 4 different trims, they're all 1.5 turbo.
Correct.
GC, tell me, how has it been from like, I'm sure you grew up with the Proton brand,
Oh yes.
like grew up around it at least. So
Yeah.
how's it been since the Geely buyover?
Yeah, so yes, I did grow up with Proton. In fact, it's as old as myself, Proton. Yeah. So as a Malaysian, Proton is always like the first Malaysian national car, and then it's really something that we take it very sentimental and very emotional as a brand. I am quite surprised that after Geely took over, it is the sentiment is still the same. The support is still there. And we still see it as a national car, at least for myself. I can't speak for everyone, but from the market kind of perspective, I still see it as Malaysians still treat Proton as the national car. So, but when it comes to the products, of course, it is a huge improvement as before. Not to say whatever that's before weren't very good, but for myself, I do feel Protons do drive and handles and ride very well.
I mean,
as
of course,
compared
like,
to
when they merged with a bigger global brand with more like expertise, inevitably,
Correct.
of course, all these experiences will come together. I think overall that's a good thing, right?
Correct.
In terms of handling, I have to say this is pretty comfortable, and it's set up with a rear multi-link suspension.
Correct.
In my research, I read that in the Geely Haoye, it does come with the option of torsion beam.
Yeah.
But here, they only give you multi-link, and they say it's because it's been tuned to Malaysian roads.
Exactly. So they did the test in Malaysia extensively, like crazy amount of mileage clocked, and from the results, we need multi-link suspension. Yeah, which is not a bad thing. It's a good thing to have, right?
It's a good thing to have,
Yeah,
but the phrasing kind of suggests something.
Oh well. In other words, our roads are as diverse as our culture.
That is a great way to put it. So in terms of MVH, I think, especially with the multi-link rear suspension, it actually feels very comfortable. Even though it's at this high of a ride height, it is slightly boaty in the sense that it kind of
It's
yaws
expected
a
of
bit.
a SUV this size. Yeah.
But I believe, when you have 6 or 7 in the rear, then
Then
things will definitely feel a lot more stable.
Yeah.
I have to say, it actually doesn't feel underpowered. But when I went on the highway, I think somewhere around your higher speeds, you do actually start to hear a lot of creak and rattling.
You must be going at like what, 350 kilometers per hour? Maybe?
I wouldn't dare. I'm always driving at legal speeds.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Wow.
110 only.
Oh wow.
So in terms of safety, this thing has pretty much level 2 self-driving. So it has intelligent cruise control. You can read the speed signs, lane keeping assist, blind spot monitor, blind spot warning. So it pretty much has everything that you need, and it is kind of the normal suite nowadays.
Yeah, it's kind of a good family car. It has everything, and then you can ferry 7. In this case, 6.
I think, pretty useful. Ferrying 7 for something of this size. Your road tax also is based on engine
size.
Engine size. Yeah.
Engine size. So 1.5 is actually quite cheap.
The turbo doesn't count, right?
No, doesn't. So it's like really by cc.
Yeah, so the
1005 cc.
I mean, similarly for us, so the road tax for this, it's pretty affordable, even though it can ferry 7, and it's pretty much a bruiser, or at least it feels like it, because of the torque. I wouldn't necessarily call this a fast car, but it does have a little bit of verve when you put that's the front collision warning, so it's telling you. So it actually doesn't. It's not something that I would, like to throw up Genting, but
You wouldn't. It's a family car, right?
Yeah,
It's very
but
boaty.
there is still that when you want a little bit more fun, shift it into sport.
Still can.
Yeah.
You still can. Somewhat, yeah.
And one thing I noticed is the gear shift. I think we touched a little bit on this earlier. So it's the first time I've seen a gear shift like this, where when it's neutral or park, usually you think like shifting once is going into drive, right?
Yep.
And then shifting, but it actually goes into neutral first. So, and then twice
Yeah.
up to go to reverse.
It is not the most intuitive in terms of using it, because you have to shift twice to go R to reverse and shift another 2 times to go to D. Yeah,
Yeah, I noticed you were fiddling with it yesterday,
I got stuck with neutral for a few times.
which after when I took it over also,
Hmm.
I experienced that.
Yeah.
But I have to say, I mean, it's, and you usually would expect a button here as well
Yeah.
to kind of
I
unlock
was looking
it.
for it when I got it for the first time. Yeah.
I have to say, while it's different, it's not exactly, it's not horrible, because once you get used to it, then
Yeah, it takes a bit of time to get used to, but it could have been better.
it could have been better.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, this is for their manual shifting of the 7-speed DCT. It's a left-right to go into manual, left to downshift, and then that's when you can kick down and it really speaks out.
Yeah, it's kind of weird for you to shift left and right for up and down shift.
Yeah,
But,
it's really the first time
It's kind of counterintuitive.
And of course, drive modes, there's eco and comfort as well.
So, is it a will buy, won't buy, or go try? In 3, 2, 1. Go
Will
buy.
buy.
What did you say?
Will buy.
Will buy. What did I say?
What did you say? So, for me, I think, I mean, of course, right now we are looking at Malaysian prices within the Malaysian market. But for me, I think at 150,000 ringgit, and if you take similarly priced mix, and then you compare it to their prices in Singapore, I think this would undercut the market quite a bit. But of course, this is all conjecture or subjective to whether or not when it comes to Singapore. Because even back then, we did have some Perodouas, and they were kind of at the more affordable segment of the market.
Yep.
But I think for this, Proton like this, it really kind of refreshes my image of what a Proton is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for myself, it is at a very good position, because if you look at it, a budget 7-seater car would be an Alza. That's around 60 to 80,000 ringgit. So as you move upwards, there's like the Innova, there's the Expander, then there is this, then there is the Serena, which is an MPV, proper MPV. And as you move up, there's the CX-8, and then there is the Santa Fe, what's the other one? The Kia Sorento. And of course, there's GLE and all that, which is a different league. So it is right smack in the middle, where I would say good for middle class buyers and with small family, or even a family of 7. It's a safe car to have for your family. So why not?
Yeah, I'm not the most familiar with like how the market is like here, but I would think for this price and this segment, it is a lot of bang for its buck.
Yeah, correct.
So that's it. That's our review of the Proton X90 over here in Putrajaya. Big thanks to Autobus for helping us with this. And if you have any questions about this car or any of the features, do leave it down in the comments below, and I'll read every single one of these. And if you've made it this far, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any of our future uploads, and follow us on TikTok at Sgcarmart.
Yeah, all of that, but at Autobus My, and also at GCMar. Follow us, please. But I do have a question though. You Singaporeans, would you guys want to buy this car? Would you want Proton to bring this car over to Singapore?
If the
That
price
would be
is
quite
right, I
interesting,
think
right?
so.
Yeah.
Because even Perodouan did sell quite a lot. Quite some.
Yeah. So comment below.
Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.
Ciao.
Comes with 6 seaters, but still a front wheel drive setup.
Oh, shit.
Oh, that's right here. There's a sticker.
Sorry, I didn't know where to come in.